Does your mono jack doing this noise when moved? If yes, cut the end of that mono jack, you don't deserve that crap. Just buy a new mono plug via online shop. Make sure to buy from trusted store. This is the mono jack in Gearshipper. It has gold-plated sleeve and tip, thicker terminals and metal housing. Also, it has plastic insulation inside. Before we start attaching this jack on this cable, let's put this housing and plastic insulation first on the cable, to avoid neglecting it. Next is measure the outer insulation that need to be removed. Make sure that you measure starting from the inside of tip terminal to slightly before the sleeve cable holder. If you're going to use scissor in removing the outer insulation, make sure that you cut shallow to avoid cutting the ground wire. Pull the outer insulation. Next is measure the core insulation that need to be removed. It can be equal to the size of tip terminal or shorter to the length of tip terminal. Carefully cut shallow to the core insulation. The core insulation has tensile strength, so use pliers to pull the insulation. Put soldering flux to clean the wire. I will pre-solder the core wire. It will make my soldering process much easier. Now it doesn't want to get through the hole anymore. Stupid. Hee hee hee. Now, plan where to put the shielding wire. I suggest that put it inside, to avoid contact with metal housing. Next, on the sleeve terminal, pre-solder the spot that you want to put the shielding wire. Next is, divide the shielding wire in half. Twist and roll both wires until you reach the desired length to be soldered. This will avoid the spread of wires. Next is, solder the end of rolled wires to lock it up. Also, this is the end where we attach in the sleeve terminal. Next we will going to attach the wire on the terminals. In this procedure, make sure that you have enough heat on the soldering iron to make the soldering much faster, because if you have low heat, the soldering lead will not melt and the heat will go to the insulations and destroys it. Make sure that the wire sticks on the terminal very strong, to avoid loose connection. Next, I'm going to attach the core wire to the tip terminal. I will push the wire downward using a flat screwdriver to avoid it from hanging out. Cut the excess wire. If you think the connection is done well, lock up the cable holder. And close the wiring with the jack housing. In my case, the soldering lead is sticking out and having contact on the metal housing, so use the soldering iron to flatten the surface.